I'd been alone for nearly 8 months when all of this went down. My name's Marcus Chun. I'm 29 and I live in a cramped studio apartment on the east side of Riverside, California. It's not the biggest city, but it's large enough that faces blend together at the grocery store, and nobody really knows their neighbors anymore. I work as an electrician for a commercial contracting company, and most days I keep my head down and my circle small. After my previous relationship imploded, I swore off dating completely. Told myself I needed time, space, perspective. But loneliness is a patient predator. It waits until you're comfortable in your routine, and then it strikes. TV dinners become your companion. The buzz of the refrigerator becomes your soundtrack, and the occasional bark of a dog outside becomes the only conversation you hear all evening. So one Thursday night, I caved and re-downloaded Spark, one of those dating apps that promises authentic people and genuine connections. The kind of promises that sound good at 11 p.m. when you're 3 beers deep and scrolling through your phone. The first handful of matches were complete letdowns. One woman unmatched me after I asked about her favorite books. Another agreed to meet for lunch and never showed up, blocking my number afterward. The third seemed promising until she spent our entire first date talking about getting back with her ex-boyfriend. So I lowered my expectations. I wasn't hunting for soulmates anymore, just someone to share a conversation with. No strings, no pressure. That's when I matched with Kira Mitchell. Her profile was minimal. 3 photos. One of her at a lake wearing a black tank top. Another selfie taken in what appeared to be a coffee shop, and a third of her with sunglasses on. Her bio was simple. Not interested in games. Just want someone real. That phrase, someone real, resonated with me. It felt honest. She messaged me first. Kira, you seem decent. Do you always wear that green jacket in photos? Me. Only when I'm trying to look cooler than I actually am. Kira. Mission accomplished. Want to meet up tonight? It was direct, almost too direct. But I'd had a brutal day running wire through a commercial kitchen, and the idea of human company sounded better than another night alone. Me. Tonight? Just to hang out, right? Kira. Yeah. I just need somewhere quiet for a while. Your place cool? That line should have triggered alarms. I didn't know this woman. But it was 9:45 p.m. I was 2 beers in, and the thought of solitude for another night made my chest feel hollow. Me? Sure. I'll send you the address. 10:15 p.m. A silver Nissan pulled into the lot beneath my apartment. I watched from my second-floor window as she stepped out. Petite build, shoulder-length black hair, gray joggers, and an oversized navy hoodie. She looked thinner than in her photos, almost fragile. Her eyes had dark crescents beneath them. When I opened the door, she didn't smile. Just looked at me and said softly, "Hey, Marcus." Her voice was calm but hollow, like she'd spent the day crying and had nothing left. "Come on in," I said, stepping aside. "Thanks," she whispered, rushing past me into the apartment. She moved slowly through my small living room, her eyes drifting over the bookshelf where I kept family photos. "You live by yourself?" she asked. "Yeah, just me." "That's nice," she said quietly. Something about the way she said it felt off, but I dismissed it. We headed into my bedroom, since that's where the TV was. She sat on the edge of the bed while I scrolled through Netflix. For the first hour or so, things seemed normal. We talked about work, music, ridiculous dating app experiences. She even laughed a little when I told her about a woman who once brought her parrot to our first date. But gradually, her demeanor shifted. She became quieter. Her eyes would drift toward the corner of the room, and sometimes she'd mumble something I couldn't quite catch. "You doing okay?" I asked at one point. "Yeah, just thinking," she replied. "But what? People?" she said. "How they pretend until you make them stop." Her tone sent a chill down my spine. I forced a nervous laugh. "Sounds like you've been through some rough stuff." Everyone's been through rough stuff, she said without blinking. Around 11:45, she suddenly stood up. Thanks for letting me crash here tonight, she said. Crash here? I repeated. You mean like stay over? You said I could hang out for the night, she said flatly, as though we'd already agreed. I hesitated. Yeah. I guess that's okay. I'll grab you some blankets. I made a makeshift bed for her on the floor next to my bed. She thanked me in this strangely formal tone, then laid down facing the wall. I shut off the TV, rolled onto my side, and tried to sleep. The whole situation felt awkward as hell. I woke up sometime later. I had no idea what time it was, but pale moonlight was bleeding through the blinds. I sat up instinctively and glanced down at the floor. The blankets were empty. I blinked hard, rubbing my eyes, assuming maybe she'd gone to the bathroom, but I didn't hear any sound. The apartment was eerily silent. Then I heard it. Faint murmuring from downstairs. At first, I thought maybe she was on the phone, but the voice didn't sound conversational. It was low, trembling, like someone whispering to themselves in distress. I slipped out of bed and crept toward the top of the stairs. From there, I could see a dim glow coming from the kitchen. That's when I heard her voice clearly. Don't make me do it again. I told you I wouldn't. Her tone was shaking, oscillating between rage and despair. Kara? I called softly. No response. I descended the stairs slowly, my heartbeat loud in my ears. When I turned into the kitchen, my stomach dropped. She was sitting in one of my dining chairs, facing the wall. Her knees were pulled up to her chest, and she was rocking slightly. Her hands were clenched around the sleeves of her hoodie. Kira, I said again, louder this time. She didn't answer. I took another step closer, and that's when I heard her whisper, It's not you. It's him. I froze. What? Who's him? She slowly turned her head. Her eyes looked vacant. Dark circles underneath. Pupils dilated wide. You shouldn't have let me in, she said quietly. My throat went dry. Okay, I said carefully. You're freaking me out a little. Maybe you should. Before I could finish, she stood up and walked toward the hallway. Not quickly, just deliberately. She brushed past me, whispering, He doesn't like when I talk too much. And then she walked upstairs. I stood there frozen for a solid 10 seconds before my brain kicked into gear. I pulled my phone from my pocket and called my older brother, Jason. It rang 3 times before he answered, groggy. Jason, Marcus, what the hell, man? It's 2 a.m. Me, whispering. Jay, there's this girl here from a dating app, and she's acting seriously off. Like talking to herself, really disturbing stuff. Jason, why the hell is she in your apartment? Me, I don't know. She said she needed a place to hang out, but now she's losing it. Jason, bro, call the cops right now. Don't try to handle this yourself. That's when I saw a shadow near my bedroom doorway. It was faint at first, just an outline in the darkness upstairs, but it shifted slowly, like someone adjusting their weight. Jay, I whispered. What? She's up there. And before I could react, she stepped into view. Kira. Her face was barely visible in the darkness, but I could see her smile. It was small, wrong. She stood there for maybe 10 seconds, just staring. Then she started running at me, screaming. The sound that came out of her was inhuman. A deep, guttural wail that made my blood go ice cold. She lunged, slamming into me. Her hands were around my throat instantly, squeezing with terrifying strength. I could smell something metallic, like blood. I fought back, grabbing her wrists and shoving her off me. We crashed hard against the wall. She screamed again, thrashing wildly, her nails raking across my skin. I managed to push her to the floor and pin her down. Stop, I shouted. What the hell is wrong with you? Her eyes rolled back, and she said in this trembling voice, He told me you were the one. That's when I realized she wasn't just unstable, she was completely gone. I yelled into the phone for Jason to call 911. Within 12 minutes, 3 police cars arrived. I met them in the stairwell, shaking so badly I could barely speak. They found Kira sitting on the floor again, back in the same kitchen chair, whispering something over and over. They cuffed her and escorted her out. One of the officers returned and asked, "You said she's from a dating app?" "Yeah," I said, my voice shaking. "You should probably delete those," he said. "For a while, at least." He wasn't wrong. They told me later she'd been reported missing by her family several months prior. She'd been in and out of psychiatric facilities, drifting from city to city. Somehow she'd gotten access to a phone, created a fake profile, and found me. The thought of what might have happened if I hadn't woken up still haunts me. Now, every time I hear the soft ping of a phone notification, that same cold dread washes over me. I deleted Spark the next morning and haven't re-downloaded a dating app since. Some nights when I close my eyes, I can still hear her whisper, "You shouldn't have let me in." I matched with her on a Wednesday evening. It had been sleeting all afternoon, the kind of heavy sleet that blankets everything in silence. Cars, voices, even the passage of time itself. I'd been single for most of my adult life, not because I was opposed to relationships, but because they just never seemed to click for me. I'd tried a few dating apps before Bumble, Match, Plenty of Fish, mostly out of boredom. I wasn't searching for anything serious. It was January 2015, dead winter, and there wasn't much to do besides huddle inside with my electric blanket and swipe through profiles. That evening I matched with a girl named Maya. Her profile photo was understated, just her sitting in a bookstore, hair covering half her face, a subtle smile. She looked genuine, authentic. She had one of those faces you could immediately picture having a real conversation with. Her bio simply read, "No drama. Just looking for good conversation and someone to make me smile." We started chatting around 7:45 p.m. Me, "Hey, looks like we're both trapped inside thanks to this ice storm." Maya, "Yeah, this weather's insane. You doing all right over there?" Me, "Trying. Leftover pizza and reruns are keeping me alive." Maya, "That sounds perfect, honestly. What are you watching?" It flowed naturally. Easy. She wasn't trying too hard or being overly quirky. We just connected. I'd been talking to a couple other women too, but those conversations felt forced, superficial. With Maya, it felt like I was talking to someone who actually wanted to engage. Around 9:30, I said, "Me, you ever actually meet people from these apps?" Maya, "Not usually." You? Me, "A few times. Mostly normal experiences." "Are you nearby?" Maya, "Yeah, I'm like 15 minutes away." "Over near Oakmont." Oakmont. That was close, maybe 3 neighborhoods over from where I lived in Greenfield. Maya, "You seem genuine. Want to meet up tonight? Just watch a movie or something." Me, "Tonight? Seriously?" Maya, "Yeah, I don't work tomorrow." Figured it could be fun. I stared at the message. It wasn't the first time someone from a dating app had suggested an immediate meet, but something about her tone, calm, straightforward, made it seem more real. Me, "Sure, why not? I've got snacks, movies, heat." Maya, "Perfect. Send me your address." I typed it out and hit send. Maya, "Cool. Be there soon." And she went offline. No phone number exchanged. No additional profile pictures beyond that one bookstore photo. No last name. Just offline. I figured maybe she was getting ready or her signal dropped. So I waited. I switched from reruns to a basketball highlights video, checking the app every few minutes. Nothing. Still offline. By 11 o'clock, I was yawning. I assumed maybe she'd reconsidered, so I shut off the TV and went to bed. When I woke up, my room was still dark. The gray pre-dawn light filtered through the blinds. My phone said 6:28 a.m. I rubbed my eyes and noticed several notifications from the app. Maya sent you a new message. There were 3 messages. 10:47 p.m. Hey, I'm on my way now. 1:58 a.m. I'm outside. 2:49 a.m. You look peaceful when you sleep. For a moment, my brain couldn't process it. Then my heart started hammering so hard I could hear it. I sat up fast and looked toward my bedroom window. The blinds were halfway open. I could see faint impressions in the frost on the glass handprints. And below, in the snow outside, fresh footprints leading directly to my window. My throat went dry. I texted her back immediately. Me. Who the hell is this? No reply. Then my phone pinged again. Maya sent you a new message. Maya, check your back door. I froze. My back door was in the kitchen. It led to a small patio I never used in winter. The apartment suddenly felt too small, too confined, like the walls were closing in. I whispered to myself, no way. I slid out of bed, keeping my eyes locked on the hallway. When I reached the kitchen, the door was still shut, locked, but the deadbolt was turned. Someone had unlocked it from the outside, or tried to. I yanked it open and looked outside. More footprints. Fresh ones. They led from the back gate, across the patio, right up to the door. Then they disappeared around the side of the building. I slammed the door shut, locked it again, and grabbed my phone. I called my neighbor, Eddie, a former Marine who lived in the unit next to mine. Eddie, I said breathlessly, I think someone was in my apartment. He was at my door in under 3 minutes, still in sweatpants and a faded hoodie. What happened? He asked. I showed him the messages. He read them, his jaw tightening. Jesus Christ, man. You didn't give her your phone number, right? No, just my address through the app. Damn, he muttered. That's bad. We searched the apartment together, every room, every closet. Nothing. All the doors were locked except that back door. The deadbolt had definitely been tampered with. When Eddie left, I sat on my couch, still shaking. My phone buzzed again. Another message. Maya, you shouldn't have locked me out. My stomach flipped. I opened the app again, but her profile was gone. Deleted. I went straight to the police station that afternoon. The officer at the desk looked exhausted. I explained everything, the messages, the footprints, the unlocked door. He asked for screenshots, so I showed him my phone. He sighed. We can file a report, but honestly, tracking someone down from these apps is complicated. You'd need a subpoena for their data. Best advice? Stay somewhere else for a few nights. Keep everything locked. I wanted to scream. That was it. For the next 10 days, I barely slept. I shoved a chair against my bedroom door every night. I bought motion sensor lights for outside. Nothing else happened. No new messages. By the 10th day, I started to relax. Maybe it was just some sick prank. Maybe someone found my address online somehow. But on the 11th night, I woke up at 2:47 a.m. to a faint sound. Not inside, outside. It was the chime of a phone notification. That distinct triple-tone ding, ding, ding. I sat up slowly. It came again, closer this time, from outside my bedroom window. I crept to the blinds, my hands trembling uncontrollably. I lifted one slat just enough to peek outside. A woman was standing in my driveway. Long dark coat, hood pulled up. The faint glow from her phone illuminated her face. Pale, sharp features, eyes locked directly on my window. She smiled. I dropped the blinds immediately, backed against the wall, and called 911. By the time the police arrived, she was gone. They found more footprints circling my apartment this time. The officers took another report, that said the same thing. Without her account information, they couldn't trace her. I deleted every dating app that night. It's been over 10 years since then. I've moved 3 times, changed jobs twice, even got a new phone number. But sometimes when it's quiet at night and I get a random notification, I still hear that triple note chime in my head. And I swear, every winter when the sleet falls heavy and the world goes silent again, I catch faint footprints outside my window. Not fresh, not deep, just watching. I wasn't looking for anyone new. Really, I wasn't. After breaking up with Matt, the guy I thought I could settle down with, I swore off dating for a while. But then there's this quiet weight that builds when your nights stretch too long and your phone never buzzes. Curiosity has a way of sneaking in when you least expect it. So there I was, a Friday evening in Cleveland, Ohio, staring at my phone. The glow of the screen lit half my face as I reopened Bumble. God, I muttered to myself, really doing this again? I live alone in a small loft downtown. My days are full of marketing reports, client calls, and mediocre lattes at the cafe downstairs. My friends are all busy with relationships, weddings, or newborns. It felt harmless to swipe a little, to see what was out there. That's when I matched with Kyle. Kyle's profile seemed normal. Almost too normal. Dark hair, kind eyes, late 20s. Pictures of him hiking, holding a cup of coffee, and one goofy shot with a raccoon. His bio read, sarcastic, coffee-dependent, probably funnier than your ex. I laughed a real laugh, and that rarely happens with these apps. We started chatting. Kyle was witty, charming without being overbearing. He asked about my favorite restaurants, what I did for fun, what my go-to coffee order was. Refreshing. Most guys on the app were either aggressively forward or painfully boring. Kyle struck a balance playful, yet grounded. After a few days, we moved to texting. He replied promptly, but never made me feel trapped. Sometimes he sent voice messages, small snippets of his laugh, and that made him feel tangible, unlike the usual ghostly app conversations. A week in, he said something that lingered. Kyle, you seem like someone who doesn't do games. Me, only if it's board games. Kyle, good. I'm done with fake people. You seem real. I let my guard down a little. 2 weeks later, he texted, Kyle, you like wine? Me, only if it comes with a good sunset. Kyle, perfect. I want to send you something. Can I get your Venmo? I hesitated. Never had a guy offer me money. Me, for what? Kyle, treat yourself. Long week. Some wine, nothing fancy. $40? Not much, but he sent it instantly. I joked about feeling spoiled. He replied with a small heart emoji. And came the invite. His friends were having a casual get-together grilling. Nothing serious. He added, if you're not comfortable, totally fine. No pressure. Something about the way he wrote made me feel okay. Casual, not pushy. I agreed. Friday evening arrived. The sky had that soft grayish-blue glow just before sunset, calm and surreal. I picked up 2 bottles of red at the corner store. Nothing expensive, just something decent. His house was in Lakewood, a decent neighborhood. I pulled into the driveway around 6:45. Lights on, music faintly playing inside. Kyle opened the door before I could knock. Hey, he said, smiling. Same as his pictures, maybe even better in person. Dark t-shirt, fitted jeans, broad-shouldered, easy smile. Inside, 2 friends sat on the couch, beers in hand. One was named Aaron, the other Liam. Polite, casual, friendly enough. But my eyes drifted elsewhere, the living room walls. Half of the paint was scratched, a picture frame hanging crooked. The kitchen cabinets were a disaster. Wood splintered, one door barely hanging, another with a jagged crack. Me. What happened here? Fight with furniture? Kyle, laughing nervously. Yeah. Rough night last week. Let's just say the cabinet's lost. He said it lightly, but my stomach nodded. Me. You punched them? Kyle. Guilty. Cheaper than therapy, right? I forced a laugh and followed him to the couch. I opened one wine bottle while the guys popped beers. Conversation was normal low music, easy chatter, occasional laughter. An hour later, Aaron left. Liam went outside for a cigarette. Then things shifted. Kyle was scrolling on his phone by the counter. Out of nowhere, he slammed it down. Hard. It bounced, hit the floor. Me. Whoa, Kyle. Nothing. Just fine. Me? Sure? You looked Kyle. I said it's fine. Then he grabbed a chair and threw it across the room. It hit the wall with a deafening bang. Me. Kyle. Kyle. Just leave me. For a sec, I froze. My instincts screamed to run, but I stayed. Clutching my wine bottle like a lifeline, Liam came back inside, cigarette in hand. Liam. Dude. What the hell? Kyle. Drop it. Liam, you're scaring her. Kyle didn't reply. His eyes glazed, distant. Slowly, he walked toward me. Me. Kyle, stop. Suddenly, he lunged, biting me hard on my arm. I screamed and shoved him off, my arm stung, fabric torn. Me. What's wrong with you? He seemed confused, dazed. Then again, he lunged, teeth aimed for my shoulder. I swung the wine bottle. It hit him enough to stagger him back. Kyle, you hit me. Me, you bit me. He laughed, loud, unhinged, echoing in the small apartment. Kyle started pacing, muttering to himself. Then, violently, he threw himself backward, landing hard on the floor. The walls shuddered. Liam, stop, man. Kyle, I can't. I just can't stop. He punched the drywall. Knuckles bleeding. Red smears on pale paint. I stepped back, shaking. Me, I need to go. Kyle, no, wait. His voice cracked. He dropped to his knees, head in his hands. Kyle, my mom. She's sick. I can't. I'm not okay. I hesitated. Part of me wanted to run. Part of me, that foolish empathetic part, froze. Me. You need help. Professional help. Kyle, don't leave. Please. Liam stepped between us. Liam, she needs to go. You're freaking her out. Kyle, no, we can still talk. Just talk. I didn't want talk. I wanted out. Outside, the cool night hit me like a jolt. Crickets chirped, faint hum of distant cars. Calm, surreal calm. Liam drove Kyle's car. I followed behind. Kyle's eyes wild. Kyle, why aren't you riding with me? Me, I'll follow. Kyle, no, get in. I refused. Kyle slammed my car door, stormed off. Liam looked mortified. They disappeared down the street. I sat trembling, then started my engine. 3 blocks later, I saw him standing in the middle of the street, chest heaving, eyes fixed on my headlights. Me, whispering, oh God. He ran at me, hands slamming onto my hood, screeching metal. Kyle yanked at my door. Kyle, open it. I just want to talk. I reversed, tires screeching. He pounded on the back window. I floored it, didn't stop until I reached the main road. Next morning, texts from unknown numbers. Liam, I'm sorry about last night. I've never seen him like that. Please don't call the cops. He's not well. Then, Kyle, I went psycho. Don't hate me. My arm still bruised, teeth marks visible under my sleeve. I replied once, you're lucky I didn't hurt you. Who gave you my number? Blocked him. 6 months later, I still check my mirrors when driving alone at night. No dating apps. Not because of what happened. Or maybe exactly because of it. Smiling faces on screens don't mean safety. Monsters text first.